What's up, guys? Welcome back to something a little bit different on the channel today. If you've been following me for a little while, you'll know that we recently went on to a cruise. We went on to the Iona with P&O. And when I say we, it was me and my dad. We both had a inside cabin each. And it was our first ever cruise. Always wanted to do one. We went to the Norwegian Fjords, which again, I'll be honest, didn't really know what to expect going into it. Never been to Norway before, never really looked at going to Norway, other than maybe like the lights, but I think that was more like a bit of a dream rather than an actual reality, which again, I would now love to go back and do. And I've got some footage that I want to show you and a couple of pictures that are thrown in there as well. And I'm going to come back after you've seen that, and I'm going to explain my experience on the ship, my thoughts on it, and whether I think it was good value, whether I would do another one, because I'm recording this intro well after the ship has docked back at Southampton. In fact, we're talking probably a couple of weeks after since we've returned. So I've sort of had the time to think about things, you know, whether I would do another one or not. And unfortunately, I've been a bit ill the last few days. So, yeah, apologies. Anyway, let's carry on with the rest of the video. And we're going to start with a tour of the inside cabin. Well, we are in the cabin. Should we turn you around? And here we are. Ignore the bag on the floor. This is an inside cabin for P&O. We are on the Iona. Nice wardrobe. Air conditioning on the wall. Is that on? It is on. Nice shower. Another mirror, and obviously your toilet as well. Then you've got a queen size bed, which is obviously fantastic. Telly on the wall, and that is pretty much it for the room. You've got your lights there as well, which you've got USBs underneath, but that is pretty much it for the room. So we're going to get checked in. Well, we are checked in. We're going to get sorted out. We've got to speak to someone, and safety briefing and things like that, and I will catch up with you guys really soon. So we are currently sailing. Left what, half hour ago? About half an hour ago. Barely feel that we're moving, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think we won't have any issue with seasickness. I hope not. But yeah, we're at sea. So we're going to go and get a drink and probably grab some dinner. Give you a quick view when these people walk by. So that is our current view. We're on deck 17. We are on deck 17, as it says on that sign there. So yeah, pretty high up. I think there's one or two more decks after this. So I'm going to end this clip here, and we're going to go grab a drink and get some dinner. So we are currently walking along the balcony. Oh, you can actually see another boat there. Just going by. How about that for timing? We're walking along the balcony. We're going to go and grab some dinner and stuff. And yeah, it's a really sunny day. And I forgot to. I've left my sunglasses in my room. So anyway, I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. That is the Iona. Now, it probably doesn't do it justice, but it is absolutely massive. So I think that's a gallery. I don't know what the building on the left is.
No, I'm not sure, but yeah, I think it's a gallery.
And then you've got these white houses which are 200 years old. How they're wooden as well. They're in immaculate condition. Stunning. Really, really nice. Alright, we are in Stavanger. So we've been off the boat already. You would have seen some of it. But how about this for a view? We're on deck 8 of the cruise ship. You ready? How about that? Absolutely stunning. So you've got the bridge there. See if I can zoom in for you a little bit. You've got the bridge there, and in the back you got all the mountains. It is crystal clear. There's not really any clouds at all. It's a lovely, it's about 19 degrees at the minute. Sun's out, there's a nice breeze, and it's actually quite quiet as well. You can see some boats. Yeah, it's actually quite quiet. We were just round the other side of the ship, which is where you get off, and that's where all the houses and stuff was. See another boat down there. Yeah, that's where all them houses were. I'm fascinated by the fact that they're 200-year-old houses made of wood, and they're in better condition than the houses we've got at home, even the new ones. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you all basically. What a view, stunning. Right, so we've got Hotel Victoria, which is there, and then next to it, I was saying that these remind me of like a old sort of style London train station. It's got that sort of look to it. These light coloured buildings. There was a massive cruise ship there earlier, which is gone. And we're currently now sat on the deck, and the views are just absolutely stunning. I said that let me turn you around. The word that I would use to describe Norway so far is peaceful. There's no real noise, everything's just calm, still and quiet. So yeah. Alright, we are on deck 16 on the boat. We're still in Stavanger. Ready for a view? Beautiful. Goes right the way around, but there's people sitting behind. I don't really want to record them on camera. There's a weird little island. I'll try and zoom into it. Here, right in front of you. And actually, it might be further around. There's an island, and it's basically got little buildings and stuff on it in the middle of the sea. Beautiful.
Like what we're saying.
Welcome to Flam. Very Jurassic Park sort of vibes. We're going to head down there. Let's go and have a look.
necessary, but it felt cool to do it at the moment. Well, everyone, welcome here to Deal or No Deal, where soon I'm going to be giving one of you the chance to join me on the stage for a chance of winning up to £1,000. Very good, you're right too, oh, yes, but don't worry, if you're sat down in the audience, each and every one of you has the chance of winning up to £5,000. But only if you paid. Right, so gambling works, you don't get something for nothing. So with that in mind, hold up your cards if you've got one of our Deal or No Deal cards. Hold it up if you're playing along. Excellent, excellent, arms down. Well done. Before we begin then, let's find out. Give me a cheer if you've seen or heard of Deal or No Deal before. Excellent. Give me a cheer if you've never heard of Deal or No Deal. Oh, that will make my life much simpler today. That is good. Okay, before we begin, of course, and this is the panto moment, by the way. Before we begin, we have to meet the most evil man on board the ship. Good, very good. We'll try it one more time because it was so good. The most evil man on board the ship. Almost sarcastically good, well done. Because it is time to meet. I know it is, I've done it before. Give me a moment, jump in. It is time to meet the banker. So the banker woke up this morning, right, some big mansion house. From there, he jumped into a sports car. That sports car got him to a plane. The plane flew him to wherever the nearest airport is, probably Aberdeen or something. There we put him in a helicopter onto a boat and he arrived here and we put him in a secret location. It's good that bit, isn't it? See what I mean? Alright, let's play the game then. Those of you with the game cards, hold them up in the air again for me. Very good. Now at the bottom of those game cards you're going to find there's a long rectangular window, flat, whatever, that's it. And lift it up now.
All right, so that is all the footage that I've sort of gathered for this video. We went to 3 locations in the end. We was meant to go to 4. We was meant to go to Stavanger, which you guys would have seen on video. We was meant to go to Olden, which sadly got cancelled because we had a really rough night at sea on the Tuesday, which was like day 2 of Norway, basically. So they had to sort of cancel that. But as a result of that, you would have seen the footage of us going into Flam much earlier than expected. So you would have seen like the fjords and stuff a lot closer than what they were. Day 3 of the cruise was Flam, and probably the most beautiful place I think I've ever seen. There was some pictures that I've got where, you know, in the morning it's grey, clouds are really low, and it was just literally like you were in Jurassic Park, Planet of the Apes, something along them sort of lines. And then half an hour later, beautiful blue skies, sun shines out, and yeah, crazy. And there were some interesting things with Flam. Like, I think it was 350 people that lived there. And there was something, can't quite remember the stat, but it was like 1,000 tourists visit there. It's either every day or every year. Must be every day. For every one person that lives there. So they rely heavily on tourism, but such a beautiful place, genuinely is, and one that didn't really know what to expect, if I'm honest. Bit disappointed we didn't get to go to Oldham because, again, that was meant to be somewhere that was absolutely beautiful. And then the last place we visited, I'll be honest, we didn't really get any footage from because it felt kind of very much like a city. It was Hawksland, I think is how you say it. It reminded me quite a little bit like London along them sort of lines, where it was quite built up and it wasn't as picturesque, should we say, as some of the other places. So didn't really get any footage from there. Still nice to stop off there and see it, but it wouldn't have been my favourite place. I think in terms of like a city side of it, Stavanger was probably, there was just more there, more picturesque, you know. But yeah, I think easily my favourite place was Flam, 100%. Beautiful part of the world. Now, my experience on a cruise ship, did I enjoy it? Yes, absolutely loved it. So I struggled the first couple of nights for sleep quite a lot, in fact. I don't ever really suffer with motion sickness, and thankfully neither me or my dad suffered with it on the ship either. Obviously, first time doing it, you never know, but yeah, we was both quite lucky in that respect. The one night that was bad, obviously, was the Tuesday because, you know, it was a rough night at sea. Definitely was a rough night. So you felt that a bit more. And it was weird. Our rooms were only a few doors apart, but you felt the movement of the engines and stuff a lot more in my room than in my dad's room. Really weird, but I loved it. And I know my dad loved it as well. We both want to do another one. There is an issue when it comes to cruising, which I'll come on to shortly. But yeah, loved it. Actually, I've just realised I might have added in some footage of them brewing their own bottles of gin on board, and I was lucky enough to buy one. It was a batch 2 bottle, so a really, really low batch. I haven't even tried it yet because obviously I've been ill and on like antibiotics and stuff. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see that as well, actually. Really cool to see that. And one thing I'll say, can't fault the staff. They worked tirelessly, literally non-stop. Hard job, I would say, for the staff, because we was talking to quite a few of them and they are all on like 6-month contracts, 7 days a week. You know, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. And they're doing like 12, 14-hour days. Difficult job. But they always had a smile on their face. They were always so helpful. Couldn't fault any of them. In terms of the one negative I would have with cruising, it would be the cost side of things. So, for example, because we booked 2 cabins, the cost went through the roof. And then on top of that, you've got to bear in mind things like drinks aren't included in the price. Things like parking aren't included in the price, and that is quite expensive. And then also things like Wi-Fi and your mobile phone. Now, this might sound a bit silly, but if you want to call home and check in with someone, it's bloody expensive to do it on a cruise ship. So what we found out after we booked is the charges at sea are like ridiculous compared to being on land. Now, some people might see that and go, well, yeah, obviously. We didn't know because we've never done it before. So we didn't use our phone at sea unless you bought the onboard Wi-Fi, which, because they know how expensive it is to use your phone, they do whack the charge of the Wi-Fi up. And it's one of them ones where maybe if I booked a cruise with more time in the future, as in like maybe 2 or 3 years in advance, maybe I'd look at the Wi-Fi, maybe not, I don't know. Personally, it didn't really bother me not having a phone. Yeah, it didn't really bother me too much. But with that said and done, is the experience of a cruise ship worth it? 100%. 100%. Like, we don't normally do a lot when we go on holiday, but there was so much included with the cost that it just made it all worthwhile, to be honest. Like, the entertainment factor was through the roof. There was so many things that we did that we wouldn't normally do. We went to a theatre show, for example, and I think to myself, well, if I was at home, how much would it cost to go to the theatre? Quite a lot of money. And that was all around like festival music from the likes of Glastonbury, Isle of Wight Festival, things like that. And that was brilliant. It was about an hour long. Absolutely fantastic. We also did a race night, which again was really good. A lot of fun. Very busy. Like, we found that a lot of places get busy really quick, as in really, really quick. We also did a killer pool competition, which Dad did joint win. He was the joint winner. And also, what else did we do? Oh, we did Deal or No Deal as well, which was quite cool. I'll see if I can include a clip of that for you as well. Yeah, that was quite cool. It was a little bit of a con in some respects, because you kind of had to match boxes to what were on the screen, which sounds easy enough to do, but you get like multiple. So for example, if say you had a penny in your box, you can have that in multiple boxes, where obviously the person on stage can have it once. I don't know. Not really that important, to be honest. It was still good to go and watch, and it was a bit of fun. So yeah, Deal or No Deal was a lot of fun. The food overall was very good. We found that some places would be very difficult to book, including like you got the 710 Club, which was just impossible to book for anything, and apparently it gets booked up months in advance. And yeah, the restaurant side of it. So you've got Horizon, which is like a buffet style restaurant. There was a Mediterranean place which we ate in, and we had lasagna in there, and it was beautiful. But the other like a la carte restaurants and stuff weren't really our cup of tea. We tried it once, but again, they book up so quick. But yeah, food wise, no real complaints, I would say. The only thing with the Horizon restaurant, you do find they do a lot of like curries and things like that. So just bear that in mind. We went to the casino and stuff a few times. That was a lot of fun. We went into, we did some shopping on board as well, which was actually quite cheap. I managed to pick myself up a big bottle of Tom Ford aftershave for 85 quid, which was ridiculous. It was like, if you buy it online, it's about 130 quid. So yeah, that was a really good deal. I did also pick up P&O Cruises. I'll show you actually. I don't want to take it out just yet, but basically it's a model of the Iona. You probably can't see it too well in shot. But basically I've picked a model up of it, and I'm going to kind of build a bit of a display behind me. I've got like a digital photo frame where I'm going to have the pictures on and stuff like that, just to sort of remember it all, you know, because it was a lot of fun, and it's an experience that I'll never forget. We met some really nice people along the way, and I've seen, I think, one of my favourite places ever in Flam, which was highly unexpected. So yeah. Oh, one more thing just quickly before I get out of here. When it comes to the cruise ship, you do have to bear in mind drinks. So drinks aren't included. We bought a drinks package each, which I think was about 170 quid, which was non-alcoholic drinks, excluding Coke, which again seems a bit ridiculous. But I would say we probably got good value out of it in the end. You know, there was things like Red Bull on there. There was appetizers. I had like some non-alcoholic cocktails and things like that. And if I added it up across the week, it was probably good value. Also, Costa was included in that as well. Again, if I'm booking 2 or 3 years in advance, maybe I would do the alcoholic package for me. But where it was so late in the day that we booked, I was like, yeah, that's fine. Just normal drinks. They also give you, while I remember, they give you £40 onboard spending money, which is quite nice. It doesn't take long to go, but it is quite nice. And yeah, I'm probably going to end this video here. I'd love to do another cruise, 100%. I think we're actually going to get some money back because we missed Olden. But still loved it. Still loved it. And yeah, I think probably book one in a bit more in advance. Oh, one last thing, the parking. So when you book with P&O, they'll try and get you to use their parking, which I think was like 150 quid. If you look around, you can get it a lot cheaper, and it's like a park and ride thing. Our experience with them was pretty good as well, to be honest, as was the mobility team for Dad, because he struggled a lot with the walk-in, and you will do a lot of walk-in on that cruise ship. But yeah, they were faultless with him, helped him out getting on and off the boat and things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much my entire experience anyway. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Give me a few days and I will try and get back to normal. You might find the next video on this channel is going to be on Wednesday, because we got the FC26 stuff dropping, I think. And yeah, hopefully I'll be feeling a bit better by then. So yeah, bear with me. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more pictures from the cruise, I'm going to be setting up a Facebook page for it all. So we'll have cruise stuff on there. We'll have the gaming stuff on there. Never know. Might even live stream on Facebook if they still do that. Who knows? But yeah, for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all very soon indeed.